Hello, family. All blessings to the Creator, our Father, and I pray everyone is doing well. I'm going to read a few chapters from the book of the Apocalypse of Abraham, our grandfather, and read several chapters of his book. I'm sure he probably has many more books than this, but those were also taken and hidden from us to not give us access to what our grandfathers have written of our lives here on earth and their connection and our connection with the Creator, with the Most High. So here I'll start with chapter 1, verse 1. I was standing guard one day over the gods of my father Terah and my brother Nahor. While I was testing them to find out which God was really the strongest, and I was completing the services, I, Abraham, received my chance. 3. My father Terah was sacrificing to his gods of wood, stone, gold, silver, copper, and of iron, and I entered their temple for the service and found a god named Marumith, carved from stone, which had fallen at the feet of the iron god, Nakin. 4. At that point, my heart was perplexed, and I thought that I could not put it back in its place by myself because of its weight, since it was made of large stones. 5. So I went and told my father, and he came in with me, and we both lifted it to put it in its place. Its head fell off while I was holding it by its head. 6. Then, when my father saw that the head of his god, Marumith, had fallen, 7, he yelled at me, saying, Abraham. 8. And I said, Here I am. And he told me to bring me the axes and chisels from the house. So I brought them to him from the house. 9. Then he cut another Marumith without a head from another stone. He then smashed the head that had fallen off Marumith. He then crushed the rest of that Marumith. Chapter 2, verse 1. He created 5 more gods and gave them to me. He ordered me to sell them outside on the road to town. 2. I saddled my father's ass and loaded the gods on it and went out on the highway to sell them. 3. The merchants from Fandana of Syria were coming with their camels on their way to Egypt to buy cochineal from the Nile. 4. I questioned them, and they answered me. I walked along with them and talked with them. Then one of their camels screamed, and the ass was frightened and fled, throwing off the gods. 3 of them were broken, and 2 remained intact. 5. Then the Syrians saw that I had gods. They said to me, Why did you not tell us that you had gods? We would have bought them before the ass heard the camel's cry. You would have lost nothing. 6. Then they said, Give us the gods that remain, and we will give you a suitable price. 7. I considered this and grieved, but they paid both for the smashed gods and the gods which remained. I had been worried how I would bring payment to my father. 8. I threw the 3 broken gods into the water of the river Gur, which was in this place, and they sank deeply into the river Gur and were not seen again. Chapter 3, verse 1. As I was still walking on the road, my heart was disturbed and my mind was distracted. I thought, what is this deed of inequality my father is doing? Verse 3. Is it not he who is God, because his gods come into being through his sculpturing, planning, and his skill? 4. They ought to honor my father, because the gods are his work. What reward does my father receive for his works? 5. Merumoth fell and could not stand up on his own, and could not stand up in his sanctuary. And could not I lift him myself until my father came, and we stood him up. Even then we were not able to do it, and his head fell off of him. 7. Then he put another stone on it from another god, which he had made without a head. The other 5 gods, which got smashed when they fell from the ass, could not save themselves. They did not harm the ass because it smashed them, nor did their broken pieces come up out of the river. 8. And I thought to myself, if this is so, how can my father's god, Merumoth, which has the head of one stone and is made from another stone, save a man, or hear a man's prayer, or grant him any gift? 4, chapter 4, verse 1. Thinking this way, I came to my father's house. I watered the ass and fed the ass with hay. I took out the silver and placed it in my father Terah's hand. 2. And when he saw it, he was happy. And he said, you are blessed, Abraham, by the God of my gods, since you have brought me the price of the gods, so that my labor was not empty. 3. I answered and said to him, listen, Father Terah, in you is the blessing of your gods, because you are the God of them. Since you created them, because of their blessing is their hell, and their power is empty. 4. They did not help themselves. How can they help you or bless me? 5. I did well for you in this transaction, because through my good sense, I brought you the silver for the broken gods. 6. When he heard what I had to say, he became violently angry with me, since I had spoken words harshly contrary to his gods. Chapter 5, verse 1. Having thought about my father's anger, I left. 2. And afterward, when I had left, he called me, saying, Abraham. I answered. Here I am. 3. He said, gather these wood chips. I was making gods from fur before you came. 4. I will use the chips to cook food when I prepared my midday meal. 5. Then, when I was picking up the wooden chips, I found a small god among them which would fit in my left hand. 6. On its forehead was written, God Barisat. Then I put the chips on the fire and to prepare for my father. And went out to ask him about the food. I put Barisat near the kindling for the fire. 7. I spoke to him as if to threaten him. I said, Barisat, watch that the fire does not go out before I come back. 8. If the fire goes out, blow on it so it flares up. I went out and said nothing of this to anyone. 9. When I returned, I found that Barisat fallen on his back. His feet were enveloped by fire and burning fiercely. 10. When I saw it, I laughed and I said to myself, Barisat, truly you know how to light a fire and cook food. 11. Then, while saying this in my laughter, I saw that he had burned up slowly with the fire and turned to ashes. 12. I carried the food to my father to eat. 13. I gave him wine and milk, and he drank, and he enjoyed himself, and he thanked and spoke praise to Marumath, his God. 14. Then I said to him, Father Terah, do not bless Marumath, your God. Do not praise him. 15. Instead, praise your God Barisat, because he loved you enough that he threw himself into the fire in order to cook your food. 16. Then my father said to me, where is he now? And I said, he has burned in the flames of the fire and become dust. And he said, great is the power of Barisat. I will make another today, and tomorrow he will prepare my food. Chapter 6. Verse 1, when I, Abraham, heard these words from my father, I laughed to myself, and I groaned from the disgust and anger in my heart. 2. I said, how can a piece of a body made help my father, Terah? 3. How can he have enslaved his body to his soul and allowed his soul to be enslaved by a spirit when the spirit is stupid and ignorant? 4. And I said, it is only proper to withstand this evil that I may compel my mind toward purity. I will lay my thoughts out before him clearly. 5. I answered and said, Father Terah, no matter which of these gods you praise, your thoughts err. 6. Don't you see that the gods of my brother Nahor, which stand in the holy sanctuary, are more worthy than yours? 7. Look, Zalcheos, Zalcheos, Zouchaios, Zalcheaios, My brother Nahor's God is more worthy than your God, Marumath, because he is made of gold, which is valued by man. 8. And if Zalchariel grows old with time, he will be remodeled, whereas if Marumath deteriorates or is broken, he will not be renewed, because he is made of stone. 9. What about Loev, or Love, the other god who stands with Zalchius? He is also more worthy than the god Baraset. 10. He, Love, is carved from wood and then forged from silver, because he too is made of something that is given with love and is valued by man according to their outward experience. 11. But Baraset, your God, is rooted in the earth. When he was large, it is a wonder because he had branches and flowers and was worth praise when he was still not carved. 12. But then you shaped him with an axe, and you created a god by your skill. 13. Look, he has already dried up. 14. His substance has perished. 15. From the height he has fallen to the earth. 16. He descended from greatness to a lowly state, and his face and appearance has wasted away. 17. He was burned up by the fire, and he turned into ashes and disappeared. 18. Then you say, let me make another, and tomorrow he will prepare my food for me. He was destroyed, and no power was left in him, his own destruction. Chapter 7. This I say, fire is more valuable in the formation of things because even the untamable things are subdued in it, and it laughs at those things which are destroyed easily by its burning. 3. But neither is it worthy because it is subject to the water. 4. But water is more worthy than fire because water overcomes fire and sweetens the earth with fruit. 5. But I would not call water a god either, because water is taken under the earth, and water is subject to the earth. Excuse me, family. 6. I will not call earth a goddess either, because it is dried by the sun and was made for man for his work. 7. I think the sun is more worthy among the gods because with its rays it illuminates the entire universe and all the air. 8. But I will not place the sun among the gods because there are those who obscure his course. They are the moon and the clouds. 9. I will not call the moon or the stars gods, because at times during the night they also dim their light. 10. Listen to Ra, my father. I will seek the God who created all the other gods we have thought exist. 11. I seek who or what is it that made the heavens red and the sun golden, and who has given light to the moon and the stars, and who has dried the earth in the midst of many waters. I will seek who it is that has set you yourself among the things, and who has sought me out in thee of my thoughts of questioning. 12. The Most High will reveal himself by himself to us. Thank you, family. I will stop there. That was the end of chapter 7 of the book of the Apocalypse of Abraham, finding his way to the Lord, to our Creator, to our Father, to his Father.